I think that 6 years from now, we'll at least have a new president, so that will bode well for our country and probably the world in general. I think that the religious conflicts in the world as they are right now will come to a head even more so. And if there is going to be a third world war, that would probably be the cause of it, so hopefully we'll be able to stem it before that happens. And then I'm hoping that the citizens in this country in particular will start to view themselves more globally instead of just nationally, and start to take responsibility for our power position. And I would anticipate that the United States is going to lose a lot of power because we're not trustworthy like we once were. And then on a smaller scale, I hope people start to eat more organically and take care of the environment, and things like hybrid cars become more popular, and that becomes the norm instead of the special case.
I really don't know. I don't think Port Townsend is going to be that different than it is right now.
What about the rest of the world?
The rest of the world could be at war.
It's going to be a lot warmer unless we cut back on all the pollution and everything, and probably a lot of fighting going on in the Middle East and places. I think Port Townsend, a lot more people are going to be living here, possibly.
Well, I don't know, it better be better by then, otherwise it's not really gonna, it's not gonna be good. It depends on people, I think. There's general conditions are leading towards, global war and bad things like that, and it's gonna be up to people to fight against that. And, people don't make the effort to bond with other people, then factors are going to take over, and it's the way it goes. Yeah, some have said World War III is starting, and time will tell and see if that's really what's going on. But could be in store. I hope not.
Well, 2012 is when the Mayan calendar ends, which is kind of like when the odometer of the car goes back to zero. So we're going to start over. Now what that means, it's a good question. Nobody really seems to understand what it's all about. So it's really a question. It's not really an answer, that's a question.
My personal, feeling on the situation is it's just a bunch of, propaganda and rumor, and I don't really think there's going to be any ending or any sort of situation like that. I mean, what's that really supposed to, mean? Is the entire world going to end? Because, so many civilizations and cultures have already ended. Is this just going to be the end of ours? And if it is, does that just... I don't know, I just don't really think it's going to be that big of a deal. I don't think there's going to be any sort of fire, spears coming from the sky, or ghosts or polar bears, any sort of situations like that. I think it's just going to probably be leading up to it, there's probably going to be a lot more scare and a lot more hype and a lot more, just paranoia going around, but I don't think anything's really going to happen.
Well, I don't know. We're going through some potential changes right now. We talk about global warming. There's war in the Middle East, and it depends on how that comes out, whether we'll have any gasoline or not, or what we'll have. I like it right here, away from the storms, away from the wars, and if I'm still alive 6 years from now, I hope I'm right here.
I think that because of global warming and our ozone layer is getting thinner and thinner, then the sun is stronger and it's melting the glaciers and all the ice. I think that it's gonna melt and all the edges of the countries are gonna they're gonna flood because the water masses are gonna get bigger and bigger and flood the edges of the country, and all the countries and all the people that live on the coasts, they're all gonna die or have to move, and so everybody's gonna congregate to the center of the country, and then there'll be too many people for the countries and the continents, and everybody will die eventually.
Well, I think that it's going to be kind of the same, but the people are going to have to use like way more alternative gas for their cars. And you know how in China you can only have a certain amount of babies? I think it's going to be like that everywhere because it's going to get too overpopulated, and all the icebergs are melting from global warming, so it's going to like have all the tsunamis and stuff.
And I think there's going to be lots of lakes and oceans, and people are going to have to live on houseboats. And all they're going to do is they're going to have their kids in their house, and they're going to drink a lot, and they're going to live on the water and drink and hit their kids.
In the year 2012, I believe that the Earth is going to be overran by giant floating brains that are going to all share the same conscious collective.
Well, I don't think it could be any more screwed up than it is today. And people today don't seem to give a damn one way or the other. And we're sitting here, there's supposed to be a shortage of oil and it's going to get worse. And all I see is trucks as big as tanks and people as big as houses, and they don't care. Everything's going to go on the same and it's going to get worse. How's that?
2012, the world will be about the same as it is now, except it's going to be more expensive. And you're lucky if you can buy a house in 2012. You can't buy one now in Port Townsend. If it wasn't for the Californians coming up here, they wouldn't be selling any houses. They're running up the prices on houses in Port Townsend. And the poor people who live here, the local people, can't afford to buy any houses where they live. And I'm from California, I'm just telling all those Californians down here to stay put, okay? And I'm trying to clean up my language here. Go ahead, fella, I'm listening. What else you want to know?
My thoughts on 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar, are that there may be something to it, but ultimately I think the future is in our hands. I don't believe in predetermination, though there could be a predetermined tendency. I think that the more we love one another, the better chances we have that the earth will be a better place. It's that simple.
If everything goes right, I think the whole world will be under one government, and I believe that that government will be able to unite all nationalities, all races of people, and I believe that finally there will be peace, and we won't have all the things that we see right now.
I'm Ty Willis, this is my wife Kelly, and the world in 2012 I think will be not too different from today, just a little bit more hectic, and hopefully a little less problems.
What do you think?
I'm certainly hoping that a lot of the wars will have been taken care of, and that we will all learn, as we should have by now, to get along and enjoy